Man, I can't believe you got broke down on the highway.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the regular afternoon council meeting of Monday, June the 28th. This meeting is being recorded live and is streaming on the District of Summerland YouTube channel, youtube.com, District of Summerland. All representations to council, written or verbal, will form part of the public record and be available to the public for viewing electronically or as a written record. Members of the public may access the meeting or participate in the following ways. You can watch the meeting live or recorded, again at the District of Summerland YouTube channel. If you wish to speak during the meeting and have not registered in advance, you may connect to the meeting by calling the conference line at 778-907-2071 and entering meeting ID 506-489-9374 and passcode 485186. After I have provided everyone who is pre-registered with an opportunity to comment, the floor will be open to those on the conference line. Corporate Officer, do we have any late items?
There are none, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Could I have someone bring forward the agenda? Thank you, Councillor Traynor and Councillor Barkwell. All in favor? Okay, thank you. Oh, I have to remember to look at Councillor Patton too. And adoption of the minutes for June the 10th, our special council meeting, and June the 14th, regular afternoon council meeting. Councillor Traynor, thank you. And again, Councillor Barkwell. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, on to delegations. We have one delegation today. Thank you for waiting an extra 2 weeks. That's with the South Okanagan Immigrant and Community Services. And we have Katerina, Cherry, and Elmira here, and they are going to talk to us about some of the different programs that they have. And then we'll have the opportunity to engage with them and ask questions. So please go ahead, whoever's leading that.
Hello. Thank you, Mayor Tony Boot and Council for giving us this opportunity to come and speak with you today. My name is Cherry Fernandez. I am the Executive Director of the South Okanagan Immigrant and Community Services, and I am joined here today by my colleagues Michael, Elmira, and Katerina. And if I can, I will just share my screen for a moment. There we go. Okay. So before we get started, I would like to acknowledge that we are joining you from the ancestral, traditional, and unceded territory of the Syilx people of the Okanagan Nation. So the South Okanagan Immigrant and Community Services is an immigrant serving organization providing settlement and integration services to the South Okanagan Similkameen area. Our core services are listed here on the screen, and we provide them to support, we support permanent residents, naturalized Canadians, temporary foreign workers, and post-secondary international students. On April 4th, 2020, the immigrant serving sector was deemed an essential service industry. For SOICs, that meant in this past year that we had to quickly transition to ensure that our services remain responsive and accessible, as many businesses have had to do over the past year. For us, that meant providing orientation and training on new technologies and online platforms. It also meant hosting one-on-one homework club to support home-based learning for newcomer families. It also included intergenerational programming to really mitigate the isolation that a number of our seniors, youth, and children face during this time. And in a year of racial tensions, it meant celebrating the diversity of our region with our very first virtual One World Festival. Despite the slowing of Canada's population due to border closures, we learned a new way to interact and connect with newcomers to our region, really increasing our accessibility. As you see here, we provided 13,175 services to our region, which really accounted for 1,872 clients, representing 105 different countries and territories of origin. Today, we have two programs that we'd like to highlight for you. The first coming from our local immigration partnership. So I will pass that on to Elmira now.
Thank you, Cherry. Thank you, everyone, for having us. My name is Elmira. I'm the coordinator of the Local Immigration Partnership. Local Immigration Partnership is a partnership table that includes local governments, school boards, community organizations, employers that all come together to create a strategy for successful immigrant integration. We have a number of projects. Cherry, sorry. Next slide, please. And next slide. We have a number of projects. No. Could you go back, please? Thank you. And today I wanted to highlight just one in the interest of time. We do research, we look into newcomer needs and employer needs. We create resources for employers. And one of the projects that were recently started is called Workplace Equity and Inclusion. And we're working with a few employers since it's a pilot and hoping to expand it. But the idea is to contribute to creating more diverse and inclusive workplaces by supporting employers through training, templates for policies, and various resources. So, and we're using a broader definition of diversity here. So we include immigrants, the Indigenous community, people that have disabilities, LGBTQ2S+ community, seniors and women as well. Next slide, please. Yeah, and we're hoping that through increased diversity and inclusion, will improve business outcomes for employers, which is talent attraction, employee commitment and productivity, as well as market expansion, which will lead ultimately to improved labor outcomes for the region as a whole. Thanks so much.
Hello, everyone. So changing the gears slightly, I'd like to familiarize you with the One World Youth Crew. So we are a youth navigated program that is facilitated by SOICS with the focus to create inclusive and welcoming communities in the South Okanagan. Who are we? So just the next step. Yeah, thank you. Youth have the liberty to choose their own projects and decide what to implement or showcase. So generally every 6 months or so, the group aims to complete a project that will benefit the community in some way. So how do we benefit the community? So besides youth gaining valuable volunteer hours, the chance to enhance your resume, gaining skills by participating in a variety of different workshops, there's also the opportunity to contribute and actually be active members in the communities along with the greater region. So activities such as art-based, media projects, along with a lot of multicultural learning, the youth crew adds to our communities by promoting both inclusion and diversity. An example of this initiative that I like to share is the One World Youth Crew Vandalism Reporting Tool. So it's a project that's rooted from noticing an increase in graffiti and vandalism primarily related to race. And the youth group began to explore ways to reduce vandalism and property damage. And the idea was named Project Vandal. Over the course of several months, we explored ways of the removal, which led to the idea of an online reporting system. And throughout COVID, we virtually collaborated and developed, along with other things, this explainer video here on the slide. And We know that each community does have a strategy in place around graffiti, but we'd like to know as a youth crew how we can support and or add to your efforts. So for example, from the online reporting tool, and once we get the data, is there a way that we can share this? So for example, to show if the majority of the graffiti is around age, gender, or race. So either through the collection of data, the reporting tool itself, we'd like to know what we can further do to our support our community. Another initiative that I'd like to share on the last note is our mural project. So we have painted an Okanagan inspired mural in the back of the SOIC's office, but it's a true goal of the youth crew to see more murals in the communities. Right now, we actually are collaborating with Summerland, so we hope to see that come true. And we'd like to make more connections around our region to where more youth reside, as it's a great way to come together, put something forth collectively, and ultimately reduce vandalism. And just this next slide here, if you guys get a chance to review the materials, there's all of our links, the reporting tool, the explainer video. Thank you.
Thank you. So with everything we do, with all our projects and our programming, diversity and inclusion is really inherent within all of that. So within our settlement services, our local immigration partnership, and the One World Youth Crew, which you have heard about today. It also is involved with our Respect Network. With this project in particular, this network, we're working with communities to really address anti-racism initiatives. In Summerland in particular, we are working with, as Katrina has mentioned, with Abby Leakey, a Summerland resident, to provide a mural on diversity in Summerland. We are also partnering with the library to pilot an unbox project, which really takes participants through individually to explore racism and what they can do as allies. And with the Summerland Museum, we are working to bring forward immigrant stories and stories of vulnerable populations and bring it to the community and show really the diversity that is in Summerland. This past year, which was truly a collaborative project, we really had to look at ways to communicate with the community. And because of all the tensions, the racial tensions, we wanted to provide a positive message of really finding strength within our diversity. So between the SOIC's team, our youth crew, and with the support of our local chambers of commerce, we picked up a camera, and through trial and error, we're able to bring this message forward. The stories and not the stories, but the voices that you hear here and the examples are really from our community. And the successes too, really the contribution, they are from our community as well. So I will share that in a moment. And it really started from a question that my own daughter asked at 3 years old, when she asked me the question, "Mommy, do you like being brown?" Which resulted in the video I'm about to share with you now.
Mommy, you like being brown?
Especially being new in this country, that this is stepping on toes.
Why do
We have a barbershop in Alford. Why would you bother coming here?
I live in Vegas.
So what?
So what? So what? So what?
The ER nurse is referring to disturbing allegations involving medical staff in emergency rooms playing racially motivated games.
Person in your fight with someone? Why don't you go back to the rest?
working brown?
Baby, what do you see?
I see you, Mommy.
What do you see?
My accent, my culture, my appearance, my name.
This is not my whole story.
I am your neighbor. I build your home and workplaces.
I'll ensure your spaces are clean and safe.
I grow your food.
I bring your food to you.
I am an employer.
I am business owner.
I create jobs.
I help you manage your future. I celebrate art.
I give back to the community.
I care for you.
I am a lifesaver.
I am on the front line for you.
I provide guidance.
Listen and offer comfort.
I am a teacher. I empower the next generation. I create innovation.
Face possibilities.
We are connected. I am Kamloops.
I am Salmon Arm.
I am Vernon.
I am Kilona. I am Pitchland. I am Summerland.
I am Penticton.
I am Oliver.
I am the Swiss. I see you. I am mother,
Father.
sister,
My brother.
Daughter.
Son.
Mentor.
Friend.
I am your neighbor. I am your neighbor. I am your neighbor.
I am your neighbor.
I see you. Mommy, you like being brown?
Baby, I'm proud to be brown. But I am not alone. You are not alone. This is our community. These are our neighbors. Neighbors that will not be silent, but take a stand and make us stronger together. Color makes life beautiful. We are all connected. Our diversity makes us stronger together.
Why fear our differences? Instead, share, learn, and appreciate the strength we have in our connection. To those that lift us up in times of crisis and uncertainty. To those that do their part every day where we work, learn, play, and live. To those that recognize and value our connection.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Terry. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Lamont, and I'm the program facilitator for the One World Youth Crew. It's our hope that this video will act as a launch pad to respond to racism in all of the communities in our region. And it's really part of a larger approach. We're using a combination of strategies to communicate our anti-racism activities from the video that you just saw to the Project Vandal graffiti reporting tool. We would love to support your community and your efforts. And if we are able to share data or find a way to use the data to help your own efforts, we'd like to get in contact and start working together. Thanks.
So thank you very much. If there are any questions, we'd love to have a conversation.
Thank you, Cherry, and all for your presentation. I can't count the number of times I've seen that video. It's still such an amazing video, so thank you for showing it again to us. Councillor, are there any Councillor Van Elfen?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you so much for your presentation, and thank you for that video. That is amazing. I don't mean to sound naive. Is that video being put all over social media? It is? Thank you so much.
And we can share the link with you. We do have it on all social media platforms that we're participating in, and we're very happy if you can share it with your network as well.
Is there a way of increasing the volume for the folks on Zoom? It's hard to hear you, Cherry.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me if I go closer somehow?
That's a little bit better.
A bit better? Okay. I was just saying we do have that video on all our social media platforms, and we can share it again as well. And if you can share it within your networks, we'd very much appreciate that.
Great, thank you. Councillor Holmes.
Yeah, thank you. A question for Elmira, if I may. I'm just wondering, does the District of Summerland have any representation on the LIP, the Local Immigration Partnership?
Yes, actually we do. Maya Boot is one of the members of the Local Immigration Partnership.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And
thank you.
May I ask, Jerry, who's the new SOIC's president? I'm very curious.
It's Bruce Taz. He was formerly a volunteer at SOICs and heavily involved in a number of our programs. So we're very happy to welcome him as our new president.
Good, thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right. Oh, Councillor Van Elfen.
Just one quick question, if I may, Madam Mayor, and it's not in my wheelhouse, so to speak, but is this video obvious? You've shared this with School District 67? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And just for Council's awareness also, I've shared that video with all staff in the organization and asked them to take time to view it.
I have one question about the Project Vandal with the One World Youth Crew. Once some graffiti is identified and located, what happens then? What's the process for removal or to address that?
If Michael, do you mind if I?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So the process is different for each region. We would report to the municipality or regional district first, because some areas are already supported through a third-party company. In the event that there isn't already some kind of support, we could work with the property owner to find other solutions and work on a case-by-case basis based on the location and based on the location of the graffiti geographically in the region, and then also the physical location within that community.
And I think as well here today, we're hoping that we can build that connection so that we have a contact person. So when we do have these reports come in, we're able to share that immediately, as well as a collective data at the end of the year. We can also share that.
Do you have any members of the youth crew that live in Summerland?
Yes, we have one member that lives in Summerland currently. Yes.
And so if there is graffiti identified somewhere in Summerland, is that what you're looking for, Cherry? Is somebody that could be contacted?
Yes. So someone that our youth crew can then go to the municipalities or the organization that is responsible really for the removal and kind of share that information, as well as a collective information that they have, if they can share it with the municipalities as well, if they would find that useful.
Thank you. Graham, is that something? Yes. So our CAO, Graham Stat, he's like the chief of staff here, and certainly head of the works in utilities, works in infrastructure, so he could be the point person and then take care of it that way. So thanks for asking that.
Thank you.
However we can help. Councillor Van Elfen has another comment.
Just a question through to staff, if I may, Madam Mayor. Is there a possibility that we could have a link to that video on our website, on our district website?
Through the mayor, yeah, I think that's a great idea, and we certainly can do that. We will action that out of today's meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it was on our social media at one point, but not that it made it to our website, so that would be great. Thank you for bringing that forward, Councillor Van Elfen. Okay, and maybe even a post on social media just to direct people to the website. Good. Okay, any other comments or questions? Right, I will thank you again on behalf of council and staff for taking the time to present to us today. And again, thank you for giving up your spot earlier in the year and bringing your presentation to us today when we could have a longer time to meet. So thank you so much for bringing us up to date on what you're doing.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Anybody that wants to speak at the public comment opportunity? No. I don't know why I always ask that, except that I have to. Okay, so on to the first of the several business items, 7.1, beach vending license of occupation. And I have, oh yeah, Lori is here. Okay, I thought that maybe you were gone already. So please go ahead, Lori.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The purpose of this report is for Council to consider and provide staff authorization to process beach vending applications for Peach Orchard, Rotary, and Powell beaches, and to approve the seasonal fee of $700. The beach vending program was offered in 2018 with 3 vendors and 2019 with 2 vendors. And due to COVID-19, no vending took place in 2020. Historically, the fee was negotiated rate and approval was required by Council each year. The beach vending locations include 2 locations at Peach Orchard Beach parking lot, 2 locations at the Rotary parking lot, and 3 locations at the Powell Beach parking lot. Staff came forward at the June 14th Council meeting with a recommendation that the fees and charges amendment bylaw include an addition of Schedule U, mobile beach vending permit fee of $700, which would provide staff authorization to charge this fee on approved applications. As Council deferred this report to the Development Process Improvement Committee for input, staff are bringing forward this report to process the beach vending applications in time for summer. This would provide staff authorization to issue license of occupation agreements and charge the permit fee of $700 for this season until the bylaw has been amended with Schedule U. After the bylaw amendment has been approved, the $700 mobile beach vending fee will officially be applicable. The beach vending locations will remain the same as previous years. Interested vendors will complete an application process, and staff will approve about 3 to 4 vendors for this year to occupy any of the approved locations on a first come, first available basis each morning. Vendors may vend at any of the 5 designated locations and move around throughout the season. Staff are recommending the seasonal permit fee of $700, which is the same rate that was charged in 2019. While this fee is on the low side of comparison communities, staff note that increasing the fee may deter interest. Currently, there is one application which was submitted a few weeks ago, and that is for a snow cone cart, which would be operated by 3 local Summerland youth. So that concludes my report, Council, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Laurie. Council, any questions? Could if I could just ask one of Brad, I see that you're here, Brad. I'll make the assumption that this wasn't on the last Development and Process Improvement Advisory Committee meeting agenda. Is it going to be on the next one?
No, the bylaw in total form was presented to the last committee meeting. Yeah.
Okay, and I didn't see anything in the minutes that suggested that there was any issue with this. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no concerns.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I will, what will I ask for? I'll have someone bring forward the motion that's there, please. Anyone? Councillor Traynor.
I will bring forward that staff be authorized to process beach vending applications for Peach Orchard, Rotary, and Powell beaches and approve the seasonal fee of $700.
Thank you. It's different from what I have written in my agenda, but maybe I've got something, maybe I have an old one or something. Karen, can you, hers is correct?
Sorry, I can read the correct one if you'd like. Councilor
Thank you.
Traynor.
Sorry about that. I was reading off of the other one.
That's okay.
It's the heat. It's the heat.
So the motion today is that the staff be authorized to issue a license of occupation agreement for applicants who meet the beach vending application requirements for the 2021 beach vending season, and that staff be authorized to charge the seasonal vending fee of $700 for the term ending on September 30th, 2021.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Councillor Traynor.
That's what I meant to read.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Barkwell? Any further discussion? All in favor? And none opposed. Thank you, Councillor Patton. So that carries. On to 7.2, Ice and Talk Dam outlet pipe replacement. And I believe Chris is going to speak to this. I see your face there. Please
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the purpose of this report is to receive information regarding the tender results for the Eisentalk Dam outlet pipe replacement project and to support a capital budget amendment in order to proceed with the project. So in 2020, Council approved borrowing of $2 million for this project for completion in 2021. The district has since received approval for up to $1.815 million in funding through the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, Adaptation, Resilience, and Disaster Mitigation Stream, which will significantly reduce the amount of borrowed funds that are required for this project. We went forward with a tender which closed on June 15th. We had 3 submissions that were received, and the lowest bid was confirmed to be Jim Dent Construction Limited. So the tender price for the actual construction portion of the project came in approximately $400,000 over the budget that was initially developed in 2020 for the grant application and for the 2021 budget. Since then, the supply streams for some of the materials such as HDPE pipe, concrete, riprap, we've seen an increase in material costs, which have accounted for about $380,000 of that $400,000 increase in cost. However, the district was fortunate to receive a grant to cover the $1.8 million. So we would be looking to reduce the borrowing commitment for the district from $2 million to $600,000 to complete this project. In the report, there's a summary of the cost for construction, for engineering, and miscellaneous costs for the slide gate and for contingency, which shows a total project cost of just over $2.4 million, and that the funding for that would be the 1.8 from the ICIP grant and the $600,000 from borrowing. So with that, if there are any questions from council, I'd be happy to answer them now.
Thank you. Councillor Barkwell.
So this budget and these amounts are for the option to raise the dam and increase the outflow.
Yeah, so the construction scope right now is to replace the outlet pipe and reconstruct the dam to the existing elevation. The engineering costs that include hydrogeological, geotechnical, and structural reviews. What's going to occur is when we have the excavation open and the existing pipe removed, there's going to be a geotechnical investigation done at the base of the dam to confirm if raising the dam structure is feasible. So we're going to replace the pipe, rebuild the dam to the existing elevation, but then have information to determine if raising that dam is possible. And the dam itself would be constructed in a way that raising that in the future would be an option. So the intent is to come back to council sort of mid-construction with that information to determine how we want to proceed. But there have been discussions recently about potential partnership through discussions with the Okanagan Nation Alliance about Trout Creek environmental flows and options within our watershed to store additional water, where this project to raise the dam and that portion of it could be maybe a potential partnership on an additional grant application that may be possible.
Great, thank you. Councillor Holmes.
Yes, thank you. I'm just wondering, with the higher costs, in the past year, and I think this has affected everybody, so we're probably not alone here. But is there any opportunity to go back to the Investing in Canada people with new numbers saying, this is the reality and it's no fault of ours because of what's happened in the last year, and having them to maybe look at it again and perhaps they getting more grant funding to cover that, what the original intent was for them to cover?
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Holmes. It's a good question. Unfortunately, in their program guidelines and in the discussions we had with them, they're pretty clear that the approved amount is the upset limit that they're willing to provide. They stress that the program is fully allocated and oversubscribed, and that recipients of the funding will be responsible for any overages or cost overruns that occur. But it's again a question that we could go back to them again and ask, but it was laid out even in the grant program at the start before we applied that managing project risks and any cost overruns would be the responsibility of us if any of those were seen during the project.
And follow up, if I may, I guess, do you know if other municipalities in the province have run into similar things with receiving these infrastructure grants and they're way out of whack, and then all of a sudden, because of the past year, they're way out of whack? Is this an isolated incident, or is this a recently common situation?
I think it's more common recently with some of the issues, like I said, with the materials and the supply of those materials and the costs increasing. It's always a balance between your grant application, making sure you have all the costs included and a decent contingency, but making sure that they're not completely unreasonable and you haven't overpriced your application to the point where it goes against you and it's not it's deemed that you haven't properly estimated the cost. So I don't know if I don't have any specifics of other municipalities with this program specifically recently, if they've experienced the same, where their estimated costs are a lot lower than what they're seeing on tenders. But yeah, it's I guess a risk that's associated with all grant programs, where they maximize their contribution based on the approved application, and whether tender costs come in higher or lower, that risk lies on the municipality.
Go ahead, Graham.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and through to Councillor Holmes. So first of all, I think it's a good idea. We'll just ask anyway, the grant funding program folks, if there's a possibility to augment our envelope. The worst that could happen is they say no, and we would be no worse off than our current allocation. So I think we can ask that, although Chris is right around the program criteria for sure. The other thing is, what I can say is, not only with this project, but with a number of projects in the district, and anecdotally talking to other CAOs in the Valley, there has been cost escalation primarily due to COVID on a whole bunch of things. And we are experiencing some inflationary pressures on budgets for that reason. So that is a true fact.
Chris, I have a couple of questions. Looking at the 5-year capital plan, it shows that in 2020 there was $200,000 allocated and only $23,500 was used. Is this is the extra $176,500, is that already factored into the overage, or are there funds that are unallocated because it wasn't all used last year?
So what's shown on there was the estimated actuals in 2020 when the budget was first produced and brought to council. The final actuals, I believe, were closer to $100,000, and that overage, or that remaining amount, was for the design. It wasn't carried forward in the $2 million amount for 2021. So
okay.
Yeah. So there is no additional carry forward from 2020 that's available.
Good, thank you for that. And then I just had a second question. It shows in 2022 that there's another $1.4 million associated with this. Is there the opportunity to apply for another grant then, do you think?
Yeah, that's our hope. So that's for the slope protection and spillway upgrades for Eisentalk. And so we've looked at part of the resolution is to separate that project and have $100,000 for design in 22 and show 1.3 million for construction in 2023. Right. And our intent would be to pursue any grant applications or programs that are applicable. But yeah, based on the criteria of this current program, the spillway and slope protection would meet that criteria as well if there's a similar program that rolls out this year or next.
Good, thank you. And then one final question. What was my final question? Oh, are both of these projects associated with I guess, findings of the dam safety people?
The pipe replacement is mainly due to the condition of the pipe and the age and the leaking issues we were having with it. The spill upgrade is definitely attributed to the consequence classification of the dam and the required capacity of our spillway based on that consequence classification that we're required. So we're looking to upsize it to meet the requirements of the high consequence classification that has been assigned to Eisentalk. So yeah, that does align with the regulatory requirements from dam safety.
Okay, thanks. And just so I understand, the high consequences if there was a dam failure, high consequence?
Yeah, so there's a classification for all dams in BC, whether it's high, very high, or extreme. And with those come different monitoring and operational requirements, as well as different volumes and capacities for your spillway that's required based on the potential flow inundation that you may see to that dam, to ensure that the spillway is able to release enough water so that that dam will not be overtopped and potentially fail.
Great, thank you so much. And the CAO had something to add as well.
Well, just further to your question, Madam Mayor, about the dam safety observers that we work with from the province. Although it is true what Chris said about the pipe replacement being something that we wanted to do because of the age and stage of it. Truth would be that if we didn't do the proper maintenance on this pipe and it led to significant leakage and undermining, it wouldn't be long before inspections of those dam safety folks would be compelling us to resolve it. So I think it's a responsible, proactive measure as well that is necessary because we're a dam owner.
Good. Appreciate that. Thank you, Chris, for taking this proactive measure. It's important. Okay, any other questions for Chris while he's here? Could I have someone bring forward the motion then, please? Anyone? Councillor Barkwell, thank you.
I'll start over. I move that the project budget for the Eisentalk Dam Outlet Pipe Replacement Project be revised from $2 million to $2.415860 million, and that the funding be revised from $2 million borrowing to $600,000 borrowing plus $1,815,860 from the ICIP-ARDM grant, and that the Eisentalk slope protection and spillway upgrade be shown as a separate project on the water capital budget for $100,000 in 2022 and $1,300,000 in 2023, and that staff prepare a bylaw to amend financial plan 2021 to 2025 bylaw number 2021-01 to incorporate these changes.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Van Elfen. Any further discussion on this? All in favor? Good. Councillor Patton, I see your hand raised, and there are none opposed. Thank you. And thank you again, Chris, for getting your getting the grant application in and getting this $1.8 million. It makes quite a bit of difference in our borrowing. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, on to 7.3, and that is the 2020 annual report. CAO.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm just going to say a few words of introduction and then actually pass it off to Karen to speak to this. But the reason why I wanted to say a few words is not because I had any large part in the heavy lifting associated with this annual report. Rather, it is actually Karen and her team working with a large group of staff to put together this report. And so first of all, I just wanted to recognize that work, as it takes a village to raise a good annual report. And I also wanted to just say, after 20 years of public service doing annual reports, I've never seen one as excellent and as easy to read, as informative as this annual report is. Fun facts and figures. It's a page turner. There's pictures in there. I think it's actually a document that people are inclined to read. I found myself reading all the way through it with interest, and I'm proud of it. And I'm also proud of the work of staff in a year of pandemic and pressure, adversity, being able to drive forward on council's priorities, and of course council's clear leadership during this difficult time, this historic time that we'll all look back to one day together. So that's why I wanted to say a few opening remarks, but with that, I will turn it over to Karen.
Thank you, CAO. So good afternoon, Council. The annual municipal report is prepared and considered by Council each year and includes the 2020 audited financial statements, the 2020 tax exemptions provided by Council, and a report of municipal services and operations for the previous year, including objectives and measures for 2020 and into 2021. The report has been posted online for the public for 14 days as required. It's been advertised in the Summerland Review and is available as part of the Council agenda package for today. So on behalf of Corporate Services, and Graham has already mentioned the number of staff, so thanks to all the directors and the staff who contributed to the building of this 2020 annual report. We hope that the public finds the report is presented in a way that's informative and celebrates the good work of the district and the resulting community of Summerland. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Council, any comments or questions? All right. Could I have someone bring forward the motion, please, to consider and receive? Thank you, Councillor Traynor.
That Council consider and receive the District of Summerland 2020 annual report as attached to the report from the Director of Corporate Services dated June 28th, 2021. I just wanted to say this looks really good. I really love all the photos and it's really easy to read. So I hope people take a minute or a couple minutes to look through it, because it's better than the other ones that we've had done. Not that they were bad, but this one's really easy to read. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Traynor. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Holmes? As you know, I think that this is I agree with Councillor Traynor. This is a really readable document. I really like the kind of the standout statistics that are at the bottom of several pages. And as I've said before, it's easy to forget when you're sitting at the council table how many directions we've given that support our strategic priorities, of course, but how many directions we've given to staff, and then it's kind of, okay, well, that's off our plate. But when you read what has been happening in the last year, especially that difficult year, it's pretty amazing. It's amazing what staff has managed to get done at a difficult time. So thank you so much. It really is a great presentation. Okay, so all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that carries. And now, Karen, this is you again, the BC Restart Plan, and as it has to do with council meetings.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So throughout the COVID-19 health and provincial state of emergencies, starting in March 2020, Council has continued to lead with the health and safety of the community and staff as a top priority. Council had a quick introduction leading to a very lengthy relationship with the Zoom platform. And this ensured continuity in the business of the district and continued to use technology to ensure remote electronic public participation in open meetings was possible. With the size of our council chamber here at the district and physical distancing requirements, Council also held a few in-person public meetings at the arena when public in attendance was not permitted under the health orders. Council invested in technology with the help of the province to upgrade the council chamber audiovisual equipment that allows for live streaming and real-time participation in meetings of council. Now, as BC moves forward with the restart plan to bring BC back together, local government organizations are planning the transition to in-person public meetings assisted by changes in the legislation. So legislation has been introduced that will allow council and the public to continue to participate electronically in meetings of council. Whereas previous to the pandemic, only special meetings were permitted to be held electronically, and there were strict conditions limiting attendance. The second recommendation in the report, following the receive for information, is therefore to amend the council procedure bylaw to incorporate these broader electronic meeting processes and participation for council committees and the public for all meetings of council and public hearings. Although we're currently in stage 2 of the restart plan, now and over the next 2 stages, the public will be permitted to attend public meetings, provided the appropriate health orders are being followed. For Summerland, although the order related to indoor gatherings has changed, the health order still requires physical distancing, which impacts the ability for the district to welcome the public to council chamber in person at this time. This will, however, change once the province enters into stage 4 of the plan, which is intended to be in early September. For this reason, it is recommended that staff report back on the progress of the restart plan by the end of August, with a plan to welcome the public to council chamber in September of 2021, should BC move into stage 4. Sorry, council, just having a, there we go. So the third recommendation is intended to respond in a measured way that respects first and foremost the continuing health orders, but also considers that the shift to less restrictions may affect individuals in different ways. In sum, the recommendations in front of council today are responsive to the changing health environment and will continue to move the District of Summerland forward with greater accessibility, participation in council meetings for the public, and it also demonstrates the value in the investment of technology over the past 15 months that will benefit the community into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Any questions, council? All right, could I have someone bring forward the recommendation or some other motion? There's 3 parts to it. Councillor Holmes, thank you.
The council received the BC Restart Plan Council Meetings Report from the Director of Corporate Services dated June 28, 2021 for information, and that staff be directed to prepare amendments to Council Procedure Bylaw number 2018-035 to incorporate broader electronic meeting processes and participation for council and committee meetings and public hearings as permitted under Bill 10, Municipal Affairs Statutes Amendment Act 2021, and that staff report back no later than August 23, 2021 with a transition plan to welcome in-person public attendance at future meetings of council in accordance with the progress of the BC Restart Plan.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Van Elfen. Any further discussion? All in favor? Great, thank you, Councillor Patton. It's carried unanimously. And then we have a couple of, do we have a couple? No, just one bylaw for adoption, and that is the Good Neighbor bylaw. So this has been through first, second, and third reading already. And Karen can answer any questions that you might have. Otherwise, I'll ask someone to bring this forward for adoption, please. Councillor Holmes? For adoption, yeah. And you're seconding? And any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, none opposed. And I will ask again, public or media? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There is a second bylaw that goes with the Good Neighbor bylaw for adoption as well.
Oh, yes. And that's the bylaw notice enforcement bylaw amendment 2021-024. And you're good with that? Councillor Carlson seconding that as well. And we will vote on this second piece. Thank you. Thank you, Karen, for pointing that out. I actually thought maybe you were indicating that there was one person that wanted to speak, but good thing I didn't hold my breath on that one. Okay, so council, a resolution to close the meeting to the public. Council. Oh. Yeah, there isn't anyone that wishes to speak, is what I've heard. Yes, thank you, though, Councillor Barkwell. Councillor Carlson, seconder.